The starship Elysium drifted silently through the void, its sleek silver hull reflecting the faint light of a distant binary star system. On board, Captain Elara Voss stood on the observation deck, her hands clasped behind her back as she gazed out at the swirling nebulae and glittering constellations. The Elysium was humanity's first deep space exploration vessel, designed to seek out new life and new civilizations. But after months of travel, the crew had found nothing but empty space and silence. Elara sighed, her breath fogging the glass. She was beginning to wonder if they were alone in the universe after all. "Captain," a voice interrupted her thoughts. It was her first officer, Lieutenant Jackson Reed. "We're picking up an unusual energy signature on the long-range scanners. It's not natural." Elara turned, her sharp green eyes narrowing. "Show me." On the holographic display, a faint pulse of light flickered in the darkness. It was rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat. Elara's pulse quickened. "Set a course. Let's investigate." As the Elysium approached the source of the signal, the crew discovered a massive alien structure floating in the void. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, a crystalline latticework of shimmering blue and silver, pulsing with the same rhythmic energy they had detected. The structure seemed alive, its surface shifting and flowing like liquid metal. "It's beautiful," Elara whispered, her voice filled with awe. "And potentially dangerous," Jackson added, ever the pragmatist. "We should proceed with caution." Elara nodded. "Prepare a shuttle. I'll lead the landing party." The shuttle touched down on a smooth, glassy surface that seemed to hum beneath their feet. Elara stepped out first, her boots clicking softly against the alien material. The air was cool and tingled with an electric charge. As they ventured deeper into the structure, they found themselves in a vast chamber filled with swirling light and strange geometric patterns that danced across the walls. And then they saw him. He stood at the center of the chamber, tall and radiant, his skin a shimmering silver blue that seemed to glow from within. His eyes were like twin stars, burning with an intensity that made Elara's breath catch in her throat. He was alien, yet there was something hauntingly familiar about him. "Who are you?" Elara asked, her voice steady despite the storm of emotions raging inside her. The alien tilted his head, studying her with those luminous eyes. "I am Kael," he said, his voice a melodic resonance that seemed to vibrate through her very soul. "I am the last of my kind. This structure is my home. And my prison." Elara frowned. "A prison? Why are you trapped here?" Kael's expression darkened. "Long ago, my people were at war with a race known as the Vorath. They were relentless, consuming everything in their path. To stop them, my people created this structure, a weapon capable of sealing the Vorath away in a pocket dimension. But the cost was great. I was chosen to remain behind, to maintain the seal and ensure the Vorath could never return." Elara's heart ached for him. "How long have you been here?" "Time is difficult to measure in this place," Kael replied. "But it feels like an eternity." Over the following days, Elara and her crew worked to establish communication with Kael, learning more about his people and their tragic history. As they spent time together, Elara found herself drawn to the alien in ways she couldn't explain. There was a connection between them, a bond that transcended species and language. One evening, as they stood together on the observation deck of the Elysium, Kael turned to her. "Elara, I have never met anyone like you. Your courage, your compassion. They remind me of what it means to be alive." Elara's cheeks flushed. "Kael, I feel the same way. But you have a duty here. You can't leave." Kael's expression softened. "Perhaps there is another way." If your people could help me find a way to automate the seal, I might be able to leave this place. To explore the universe with you. Elara's heart soared at the thought. We'll find a way, she promised. Together, the crew of the Elysium worked tirelessly, combining their knowledge with Kael's advanced technology to create a new system that could maintain the seal without his constant presence. It was a risky endeavor, but they were determined to succeed. Finally, the day came to activate the new system. Kael stood at the control console, his hands trembling slightly as he input the final commands. Elara stood beside him, her presence a steadying force. Are you ready? She asked softly. Kael nodded. For the first time in centuries. I am. With a final press of a button, the new system came online. The structure hummed with energy, the rhythmic pulse growing stronger before stabilizing. The seal held. Kael let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. It worked, he whispered, his voice filled with wonder. Elara smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. You're free. As the Elysium prepared to depart, Kael stood on the observation deck, watching the alien structure grow smaller in the distance. He felt a pang of sadness, but also a profound sense of hope. For the first time in his long life, he was no longer alone. Elara joined him, slipping her hand into his. Where to next? She asked, her voice filled with excitement. Kael turned to her, his star-like eyes shining with affection. Wherever the stars take us, he replied. As long as I'm with you. And as the Elysium soared into the unknown, its crew and its newest member embarked on a journey that would change the course of history, proving that even in the vastness of space, love could bridge the gap between worlds. Epilogue. Years later, the legend of Captain Elara Voss and Kael, the last of his kind, spread across the galaxy. Their love story became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest corners of the universe, light could be found. Together, they explored countless worlds, forging alliances and spreading peace. And though they came from different stars, their hearts beat as one, a testament to the power of love to transcend even the greatest of divides.